money do you want to see?
As much as possible. The answer to that is as much as possible. The biggest mistake that people make in terms of showing funding is starting a new bank account and depositing the exact amount that's on the tuition on the I-20, or double it, 200% of that amount, because they think, well, that's the requirement, so I need to satisfy the requirement. The requirement is that the visa officer feel convinced that you've got the resources, right? So the requirement is a feeling, not an amount. And to give them that feeling, well, if you've got a bank account that was opened 4 months ago and the exact amount of the tuition was deposited into that bank account, what does that make them feel? It makes them feel like, what the heck is this? Why? Where did this money come from? Are there other bank accounts? Why didn't they just show me their original bank account? Why did they start this weird new bank account? Like, why? I don't understand why they don't show me everything. What they want to see is everything. They don't want to see one bank account that you specifically opened for this purpose with an ambiguous source of where the funding was transferred from. They want to see your entire, and if you're young, you and your family's entire financial situation. They want to see a balance sheet and an income statement of your entire family, which means assets that are in savings, investments, real estate, gold, whatever it may be, on the balance sheet. And then what are the incomes? Do you have income from the real estate? Do you have income from employment? Do you have business income? Whatever it is, show as much as you can, and in a concise, intelligible way. These are not business people. These are the opposite. These are bureaucrats. And these are bureaucrats that can't even have their own businesses because they don't live in their own country. So these are bureaucrats that can't, honestly, the Foreign Service officers are very, very disconnected from financial realities and business and stuff like that. More so than their peers in the US. Because they even just like buying real estate, because they live abroad their entire career, they're buying real estate later than many of their peers in the US. So they're as not each individual, but in general as a whole, not as financially or business savvy. So you got to explain it to them. Explain it to them with a document that you're thinking it's like, okay, this is like a teaching document for teaching maybe high school students about economics, showing to them this is the family's assets, this is the family's income, this is why we're stable, right? And you got to think about this in the way, think about it, wipe the slate clean, and think about it from the very beginning. I've had a client who told me, in his interview, the visa officer asked him, "What do your parents do?" And he said, "They're fishermen. They do fish." I think he might have said they sell fish. Okay. Well, let's think. Sell fish. They sell fish. We've got them. We've got a verb, sell. We got a noun, fish. Okay. How many fish? I don't know. If I sell 5 million fish, I'm probably a rich man. If I sell 5 million fish, if I sell 5 fish, I'll probably have enough money to eat for the day. So you've got to put the context on it, because the visa officers don't know anything, right? So they need to hear, oh, my parents, and this was the actual situation. Oh, my parents have 80 acres of aquaculture fish farming with a bunch of employees, and they're making over 100,000 US dollars. They're making over that much money in US dollars per year with this big fish operation. So saying they sell fish really undersold the financial stability that this family had. But the visa officer hears sell fish, and he's thinking, okay, so does your dad go to the market and sell fish at the market, right? Or what's the situation? They just don't know, right? Another person told me that their mom sold eggs. Well, I'm thinking, okay, is she selling eggs off of a cart, right? Or is she selling eggs wholesale, and that's what she was doing. She was a buyer and seller of eggs, where she had a bunch of farms where she had all the contracts to buy the eggs there, and then took them to markets in a couple different cities and had them sold there. So it was a much bigger business. But you've got to keep in mind, the visa officers don't know anything about your situation other than what you tell them. They're going to be making assumptions. They're going to be imagining things, right? And well, the fact is, in India, if